Story 1. Dating a flight attendant. I posted this in a few places, but was invited to this group, so I thought I'd share my story here as well. Hello everyone. This is my first post here, and I'll apologize in advance for the long story. I'll start from the beginning, late 2019, until now. Late 2019, I was an over-the-road truck driver after being medically discharged from the Army. It wasn't ideal, being away from my family so much, but it allowed me to make a really good living to support my family. My wife at the time began talking to someone, moved him in while I was away, and kicked me out of my own house. I filed divorce, obviously, after posting a rant on Facebook about my situation. An old coworker, whom I'd attended training with for a regional airline, reached out to me to offer her support. One thing led to another, and we eventually started dating in early 2020. My divorce was still ongoing, but there was no way I was going to change my mind, so we started a relationship. At the time, she was a flight attendant. With COVID running rampant and the talks of involuntary layoff, she left her job and got a local job so we could be together. We had a pretty good relationship, or so I thought. The job she took was in the hospital, and again, with COVID going on, she was stressed out because she was seeing people die in the hospitals regularly. She left that job and went to stay with her family the next state over instead of simply finding another job locally, which I definitely had voiced my objections about. I had always wondered why she went back there when we were in a relationship, but we seemed to make it work. I was gone a lot as a truck driver still, so we'd meet up on weekends, and we made it work. About a year goes by, we're still together, so I proposed and bought her a nice engagement set and everything. While she expressed early on in our relationship that she wanted to date with a purpose and she accepted my proposal, she refused to ever update anything on Facebook or social media to reflect this. Her profile did show that she was in a relationship with me, at least from what I could see from my own profile. It may possibly have been hidden from anyone else. We still maintained what I thought was a pretty good relationship, with the exception that we had a minor argument about her staying in contact with her ex-BF, who just so happens to be an airline pilot. I told her I thought it was inappropriate to stay in contact with exes, and she agreed to cut off contact. I had never looked through her phone or the phone bill details to see who she was talking to, because I thought I could trust her. Early on in the relationship, she told me how her ex-husband would always look through her phone, and that she didn't want to be in a relationship with someone who felt that this was necessary, as it implies a lack of trust. In hindsight, that was a huge red flag. I'm sure her ex-husband had a reason for wanting to see her phone, given her behavior in our relationship. We were doing pretty good in our relationship though, and my divorce was finalized in late 2021 after almost 2 years. She ended up moving back in with me, and I bought a nice home for us. Everything seemed perfect. In early 2022, COVID was winding down, and she expressed a desire to go back to flying. I had no problem with this and wanted her to have a job that she loved, seeing as how she has always had a passion for the aviation industry. She would commute home when she had time off, and again, our relationship seemed to be going just fine. Last summer, however, she befriended a male coworker that she was based with and began going out to eat, getting drinks, and taking day trips with him since they could both fly for free. Again, I confronted her about this because I felt it was inappropriate and that she would be angry if I was doing the same thing with a female coworker. I was assured that he was just a friend and that they often have other crew members with them when they go out. I was also accused of being jealous and insecure and judging her based on my experience with my ex-wife. In essence, she gaslighted me. In August 2022, I sold my Marshall home and made a bit of a profit. I took care of some things of my own but used over half of the profits to help her. I bought her a commuter car so I wouldn't have to meet her at the airport when she commuted home, and paid off her credit cards to the tune of about $5K. I didn't mind really, because a lot of the expenses she had charged was either for household goods at our home or travel expenses incurred when commuting. Late that month, she drove the car to the airport to go back to work. That was the last time I saw her. She wanted to spend time with her family the next month, which I was fine with, so I didn't see her in September. Early October, around the time she normally comes home for a week, she expressed that she felt like she was holding me back in life by not being home with me and my children very much, and that I deserved someone more present in my life. I took this as a spin on the classic "it's not you, it's me" line. I told her we should think it over before splitting up. A few days later, I reluctantly agreed that it was hard to have a relationship when she was only home a few days a month, and sometimes used that time to spend with family, so we would occasionally go months without actually being together. I was heartbroken, but I knew that there wasn't much of a point in continuing the relationship, even though I loved her dearly. Fast forward to the day before Thanksgiving. We had split up about a month and a half ago by this time. She calls me to chat, which we would do from time to time since we split up amicably. During the conversation she asks if I'm seeing anyone, and I reply that I am talking to someone. She says that she is as well, and after some conversation, she tells me that it's her male coworker, whom I thought she was being inappropriate with months before. The guy is married, by the way. I become furious. I acted out of character, confronted him directly, and he tells me that he asked her out and she accepted on October 7th, the same day that she brought up the possibility of us splitting up. She tells me he's separated, going through divorce, and a whole string of far-fetched stories justifying her actions. In essence, even though she doesn't admit it, she left me for this guy, and I have no reason to believe that there wasn't something going on before we split up. Again, I'm furious, hurt, betrayed, all at once. I contact the guy's wife. She's angry as well, as one would assume. Eventually, my ex leaves the guy after realizing that he was not getting divorced, and he has lied to her. She called me to thank me for letting her know a few weeks later, but then tells me she's with someone else already. I'm not even sure as to why she brings up her relationship status this time or the day before Thanksgiving. Is it just to make me jealous? I have no clue. Anyway, I ask her if it's her pilot ex-BF and she would only tell me that she is going to keep her relationship private from now on, in my opinion. This basically confirms that is in fact who she is dating. Currently, I'm over her, over the heartache, and moving on with my own relationship, which is flourishing. One day not long ago, I log on to pay my phone bill and have a random inclination to see if I can still see her phone records from the time that we had a joint plan. I can. I see a phone number that she is making and receiving calls from multiple times a day, almost daily, for the entire time we were together. I do a little research and learn that this number belongs to the pilot ex-BF, whom she had agreed to not contact anymore. So, not only did she leave me for the coworker last autumn, but she was most likely cheating on me with her ex the entire time we were together. Keep in mind, the majority of our relationship, we did not live together 100% of the time, and there was plenty of opportunities for her to cheat. Now, I have to question the entire relationship. Was I even her main man, or was I just on the side and she was still dating that guy the entire time? Who knows? All I know now is that you never really know who people are, or what they are hiding. I truly believe that moving back to her home state, going back to flying, etc. was all just ways in which she could cheat on me without being caught very easily. I guess she pulled it off because I didn't even find out until afterwards. Anyway, that's just my story. If I've learned anything, I've learned 1, that if a person is very secretive about their phone, they're hiding something. 2, if a person willingly puts distance between the two of you, they're up to something. And 3, flight attendants are generally not faithful partners, something that many people I know in the aviation industry also agree with. Promiscuity is almost a cultural thing amongst flight attendants apparently. Reader comment: what a terrible experience for you. Glad you have met someone better, but I think you should change your title to Dating a Monkey Branching Nightmare. Original poster. Thank you. You're definitely right though about the title law. Story 2. MF, will this work out? I really hope it will. I want realistic answers, please. If anyone has questions, I'll answer. I have been dating my girlfriend for around 4 months. I really love her, and she really loves me, but she has lied to me many times. I found just 4 days ago she sent explicit pictures to a guy in the first week of our relationship. Everyone lies, but she has lied to me 3 times about big things. Early December, I asked if she would block him, which she complained. Then I found out she unblocked him in the same month. So, she started crying and was honest and told me she liked him, but she knows it was wrong and doesn't like him at all and doesn't talk to him. But the second lie she told me was basically before telling me she sent the pictures to the guy. She told me the guy took her phone and looked at her pictures. So, I called her out on that cause. An old pal knows the guy and he said that never happened, and she said she accidentally sent them to him trying to send it to me. So then came the third lie. I bluffed because I suspected she was lying. I told her I talked to the guy and he told me you sent him the pictures because he asked and you complied. Then she started breaking down for 2 hours, telling me how much she loved, telling me how effed up of a mistake she made, telling me we'll never get married, telling me she won't ever get to kiss me again, and she wouldn't stop crying for a long time. I didn't know WTF to do. She didn't try to reason at all. She knew she lied to me multiple times and was in the wrong. She reacted like this when I got defensive about all the lies, but the third lie was the worst. I told her how much it hurt me and such, getting really into it, and once again she didn't try to defend herself. So, I came to the conclusion I would still date her. She told me all this stuff she would do to try to get my trust back. I told her I won't trust her for a long time. She is trying to delete social media and such now, not lying to me. But she has been sad recently. I don't want to sympathize for her, as that's why she has been sad. She knows how much she effed up. The only reason I'm staying in this relationship is obviously because I love her, but also it was a week into the relationship. She did this and it was at least nudes and not anything more. But she lied to me so much and I don't know what right anymore if this relationship will even make it or be healthy. That's all I want, but I want a realistic answer from someone, please. Thank you to anyone who reads this. Please ask questions for more details if needed. I really do want to stay with her and believe she can do it. Thank you. She still hasn't lied. It's been about 3 weeks after writing this and hasn't done anything. She is trying and wants to marry me and make sure we get married. She will never do it again. She says she knew it was a mistake. She only sent the nudes once and realized it was wrong. Reader comment. Opus, I see your reasoning that it was only 1 week into the relationship when she sent the pictures to the guy, but that is not really the issue, is it? It's the lies. You now know that she can look you straight in the eye and lie to you with no remorse. Therefore, you won't trust her again in the near future even if you stay. And what about her morals? All it takes is for a guy to request naked pictures of her and she willingly does it. Is this an ex-boyfriend or a former FWB? Or is she the type of girl that is constantly looking for attention and validation? If that is the case, it won't be the last time you catch her flirting, sexting, sending explicit pictures, etc. Don't be fooled by all those crocodile tears either. You both are very young, and you've only been dating 4 months. I'm sure you both have feelings for each other, but that's because you are in the honeymoon phase of your relationship. You think she is sad because you won't sympathize with her situation. Ever think that she is sad because with no social media she won't be able to get that attention and validation so easily from other people? My advice is that this relationship is going to be a struggle to maintain. You are not going to trust her. She will go from being sad and crying to defensive and upset that you won't get over it. You're young, Opus. You shouldn't have to work so hard for love. Once trust is broken, it's very hard to regain. Best bet is to move on from this one. No trust equals no relationship. Story 3. 8-month update post-separation. I was encouraged by others in various group chats to do another update, so here goes. 8 months ago, the person who I thought was the love of my life left me. She had an internet affair while we were going to marriage counseling. I haven't made an update in a long time. I got really busy with my current life goals and my healing journey. I have maintained no contact with her, have stayed off social media, and have just been silent on my end attending therapy and working out. For anyone curious, no, we are not officially divorced yet. My state's court system is clogged, I guess, but it's getting done. Something I decided to do around December was to leave the job I was at and take a break from work in general. I decided I would like to return to a different profession that I was doing while I was with her full time. Before returning though, I wanted to take a mental break since I was grinding plenty with the job I took during the summer in the middle of the split. During this break, I took advantage of this by really pressing into my workout routine. I started to jog about 8.5 miles a day while also lifting weights. I took a lot of inspiration from David Goggins. He's an inspirational figure for me, so I decided to really take the break as an opportunity to deal with my SHT. I used my last job as a way to hide away from some of my feelings. Heading into the holidays with no job and just jogging like crazy every day allowed me to really process things. I did feel kind of bad that she never reached out during the holidays. Didn't say anything for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's. I guess it made me feel like I really didn't matter all that much to her after all. But it also gives me validation in my choice to cut ties with her. Every day as I was jogging, I was able to really think about the relationship. I started to finally view the relationship from the outside looking in instead of inside looking inside. I realized that she never really had my back at all. She never fought for the relationship, and certainly didn't value me as much as I valued her. But I also realized that in order to really move on, I needed to not care about her or what she did. I know that sounds weird because she wronged me so much, but also holding on to those hurt feelings was doing nothing but holding me back from really healing. So, I decided to make peace with her. No, I didn't contact her. I'm not giving her that. But I did internally forgive her since I honestly feel bad for her. I am a great guy, she said it herself. She's very lost. People who decide to have affairs have no integrity. She could have left me. She could have ended things before doing what she did. Instead, she chose to gaslight me, manipulate me and my family, and stab me in the back with her blaming of me. She has her own long road to recovery for herself to save herself. Her journey of healing is none of my business though. I wish her the best. I sometimes struggle with the feelings of being discarded and replaced, but I use those feelings as energy to continue another day. For myself, I guess I reached a point right after the new year where I decided I was done living in the hurt and done living with feelings of anger. I have consistently been in the gym, pretty much every day actually. Since doing my intense cardio with my weightlifting, I have dropped to 266 pounds. in total weight after starting from 310 pounds. When she left me, I have hit a plateau in the last couple of months as I have been building a lot of muscle while losing some fat. I look like a different person. At least that's what everyone around me tells me. I haven't really paid attention to what others think about me. My stomach has gone down significantly, and I suspect the rest of my belly fat will really disappear in maybe another 3 months of dieting and working out. I have a really muscular physique now that just needs to lose a bit more fat to really have it all come together. I can definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel for my weight loss, which is good for obvious reasons. I've kinda become obsessed with losing weight and lifting weights. Maybe it's because of some of the things she said regarding how I looked. At first it was for sure, but then I started doing it more for myself as I enjoy my routine of working out right after school. The one thing I still have to work on is my confidence. Most of the time I'm very quiet and keep to myself. I open up when I'm with my friends, but it's a stark difference from who I was a year ago. I used to be a very happy-go-lucky guy. Now I feel very hardened and somewhat cynical due to what I've been through. I'm very distrusting of people and even somewhat judgmental. I don't express these things outwardly, but inwardly I do. I think it's probably just me having trust issues, and I'll eventually grow out of it as I continue to attend therapy. I haven't gotten into any relationships either. I think taking a long break to work on myself is necessary, and I'm honestly fine most of the time. I do sometimes feel a little upset at not having someone when my ex gets to run to someone else for comfort. But it is what it is. It's life. To summarize then, I have been doing really well physically, mentally, and spiritually with my faith. I have reached the stage of indifference towards her. I don't feel the pain of what she did anymore, and I don't feel the sadness of missing her anymore. I kinda just feel nothing towards her anymore. Time does heal all, but you have to really make smart use of that time doing things that are actually gonna push you forward. So, if anyone reading is going through it at an earlier stage than me, I promise you it does get better. Even if you don't believe it now, it really does. Make sure to distance yourself from them as much as possible and work on yourself. Force yourself if you have to. Any words of encouragement would be appreciated. I often like to come back to these threads to read the responses to motivate me. Reader comment: very good story. Glad you are moving forward. Being able to look back at the dark times without emotions, as though you are just an observer in the room, is the point we all want to get to. I think forgiveness is very overrated. I was cheated on in an awful way, and I will never think she is anything but a scummy person. But I can look back at anything during that time without any emotion. I don't think you are quite there yet, as you mentioned you were disappointed that she did not contact you during the holidays. But all that you have written shows that you are well on your way and will certainly get to that emotionless point. As for the change in personality, I think you should not create any mental models of yourself. You never know how you will act when a girl with good values comes into your future life. But certainly, this experience has not only caused you to introspect as to what you will accept, not WRT a partner, but it has made you think at a lower level as to what kind of life you want. And that is nothing but good. Good luck. Reader comment: sounds like you really got your SHT in order. That's awesome. As for feeling upset that your ex gets to be comforted by someone, don't be. You're doing the work to better yourself, and while it's not the easy path, it is the one that leads to being best able to give comfort and strength to yourself. It's having an internal locus of control versus an external. And consider the comfort she is receiving. It seems to me that the overwhelming majority of the time, APs are shittier people than BPs, so I assume that the comfort is anything short of tawdry. I wish you the best of luck, but it looks like you don't need it. Reader comment: now it's a matter of legally separating your life. Original poster, correct.